Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. All right, not a lot occurred today. Pretty choppy price action, and one of the smallest ranges we've had in quite some time. Smallest range of the year. Very, very small. We played in between both distributions from Friday. We played in, well, mostly above the lower distribution, whereas this whole area down here was the lower distribution. And excuse me, we played mostly in the upper distribution after filling sets of single prints early on in the day. Um, so we're just going to go through this rather quickly because there isn't a whole lot to review. Uh, there was a lot of opportunities, but kind of poor risk reward as it was an inside day. Value not too much different, slightly overlapping to higher. Just wasn't a whole lot of price action to really hop on. The only thing I did today was take some sell trades. I was on the sell side as sellers did have things in their favor early on, with one time framing down, getting the overnight low, and then filling these sets of single prints. After that, there really wasn't anything. I was, me and anybody else in the room with Paul, we were just shorting against the open and value high for majority of the evening or early morning and into the evening, as you could have been shorting against the open and then using A's high or the day's high as your out. The only other trade that I was looking for as far as the long side was a fade of an extreme on a new low, because early on in B period, we attempted to go trend. C period took out B's low. Couldn't really get going into the lower distribution. Couldn't really even find acceptance. There was no acceptance, no real acceptance into the lower distribution. We couldn't even get to the 7Y point of control on that pullback in C period. So there really wasn't a whole lot going for the sellers near the lows. So early on in the day, you kind of felt, all right, if we can get rotational, if we can create a Y point of control, which is what we started to do at B's high, right? We started to create a Y point of control. We began to get rotational, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? We start to get rotational. H continues the rotation. We start to get a wider point of control through B's high. Right here at the 4150 level, we played there all day long. There's only one time frame that missed getting us a perfect point of control. 13 out of 13 time frames. If we would have traded back and forth through 4150, we would have had a perfect POC at that B high. K was the only time frame not to get there, so we end with a 12Y point of control around that 4150 level. But fading the extreme was the play. You could have faded the extreme in J period, which is exactly what I was looking for earlier in the day. But whenever we pulled, let me get rid of these destinations. Let me just delete this, because we did pull back and fill these early on in C period. The only ones I'm not going to get rid of is that 41, 47, 50. That will indicate the portion of the upper distribution. And then that 41, 41, 75 level, I'm not going to get rid of just yet, because that will indicate the lower distribution. So you could see whenever we're pulling back, right, you couldn't get into that. In E period, if we would have set a new low on the day, I would have faded the first time against that Y point of control using H's, 2 points below H's low, below 36. So, excuse me, I would have been out around 34. If we would have pulled back into the 34, 36 level, I would have taken the long position to come back into the Y point of control. Same thing in F period, same thing G, H, right? If any of those would have pulled back, I would have taken it. Now we did get a nice liquidation break, short against the open, and then we had a great liquidation break to the downside, creating that fade opportunity. Unfortunately, I was not around, but that would have been a great long opportunity. I know a lot of people in the room with Paul took that trade against that 7Y point of control. So taking that trade against that low there, say you got long, 38, You use H's low as you're out 36. You're risking 2 points to rotate back up into the point of control, which is at 4150. So from 36 to 4150, you would have been gotten, roughly anywhere from 18 to 20 points if you would have waited to continue to rotate to the higher day. Great risk reward setup there. That's called fading the extreme, especially when you have a wide point of control. Just a nice mean reversion trade. You take the long here, and it rotates up into that point of control. Great opportunity there. Fortunately, I was not around. I did make 7 points on the day, and that was early on in F period, or in E period and in F period. Took shorts in E period against D's high in the open. Made a couple points there. Took shorts in F period against E, D, and the open against those highs to rotate back down into that 4150 area and potentially down to value low. We pulled back. I got on my trade. Ended up 7 points on the day. I was trading the ES. I was a little bit more comfortable today with the smaller range, just kind of taking 1 point here, 1 point there, versus taking MES with like a 50 lot or whatever, because it would have been like the same difference. So I did end up with 7 points on the day. I'll take it. Not too bad of a day. Oh, I just started playing music. All right. So let's go ahead and mark today's destinations real quick. We'll mark these destinations, and then we'll look at our larger time frame and then get you guys on your way. By the way, we did miss that 7 wide point of control. That was another thing, is that we pulled back and we couldn't even get to that 7 wide point of control. So great risk reward. I cannot believe I was not around for that. So the day's low, 37.50. 37.50. Low of day. So I think maybe we'll just continue to chop around inside these this day's range, or we'll rotate down into the low. But I do think we'll trade a good portion of this day's range coming into the CPI on Wednesday, because all the time frames so far are still in a balance. There hasn't been a whole lot. This market's still waiting for market generated information, so we'll see. 4150. 12 wide point of control, 4150. 12 wide. Fucking tight. Jesus. Point of control. $12 wide point of control. Right there at 4150. Almost a perfect POC. And then we have our high of day here in K period. You could have faded the extreme as well in K period and used M's high from Friday as your out, right? So you could have taken the short at the day's high or above and used M's high as your out to rotate back down into the point of control. So you're risking 2 to 3 points, and you could have made roughly 10 points, 8 to 10 points on that trade. So good risk reward trade there. So fading the extremes was the trade. 47.50 was the high of day. High of day there. So we traded just basically in the upper distribution from Friday. Buyers have to be happy with that. We barely dipped our toe into the lower distribution and didn't even touch our afternoon pullback low or lowest accepted price from that day. So if we open up tomorrow above this 12 wide point of control, above 4150, look to take out today's high at 4157.50. If we take that out, then we'll get 4163.25 daily high, then 4167 daily high, and continue to rotate up into this gap at 4177.25 to 4182.25. And then above that, there's just a vacuum to the upside. If we open up and cannot get above Friday's high, 4163.25, then you'll look to rotate back down into 4150 and then test the day's low and potentially even trade into the lower distribution. If we open up below the 12 wide point of control, 4150, take out the day's low, you will go test the afternoon pullback low, lowest accepted price, and then potentially get into the gap at 41.1150 to 40.9825. So we got two gaps, one on the upside and one on the downside. Which one gets filled first? Nobody knows. That is the answer, right? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Is kind of what we're trying to figure out here. But like I said, I would not be surprised if we continue to see consolidation within this 41.6325 to 41.11 area until CPI tomorrow on Wednesday. Let's go ahead and look at our daily time frame. There isn't a whole lot difference, right? Monthly still in a balance, weekly still in a balance. You know, not a whole lot going on there. Here's our daily balance. This is what we're looking at right here. So 41.7725 is our balance high. Let me adjust this real quick. 41.7725 is our balance high, and then 40.6225 is our balance low. Expect a whole lot of chop inside this range until we come out of it one way or the other. Today was an inside day, right? We traded inside today's range, didn't come out of it. So tomorrow, if we do come out of it, you want to monitor for continuation or lack of. So we either get above today's high and go trend up, or we get above today's high, fail at the balance high, and then rotate back in. Then with that being said, the chances are increased to going and testing the day's low on Friday. Same thing for the downside. If we go and take out Friday's low and go trend, then you should get down to 40.6225. But if we take out Friday's low, only fill the gap, and then rotate back into the day's range, then it's likely that you'll rotate back up to that Y point of control that we created today at 41.50 and then test Friday's high. So that's how that goes, right? You want to see continuation or lack of. The lack of being we come back into the day's range on either side. If we have continuation, then you'll be breaking out of balance, hopefully to the upside, so these buyers can really get things underway. If not, then continue to expect a whole lot of chop. And then we'll just take a quick glance at our weekly balance. Just take a quick glance here. As like I said, not a lot has changed. Our weekly balance high, 42.0625, and our weekly balance low, 40.6225. So chopping around inside here. See which way this comes out. Either prior to CPI or after CPI and PPI come Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you all for watching. If you guys do not mind, please leave a like down below, and let me know how you like the videos. Comment something nice down below. See you.